We shouldn't take any action that isn't helping people survive during this extreme period of heat.
Now at 6, a state of emergency as an extreme, potentially record-breaking heat wave hits Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Willamette Valley. Plus,
this is Oregon. It rains, what, 399 days a year? We got to take the 1 or 2 days of sunshine we get.
From food carts that feel hotter than biscuits to early garbage collection to splash pad fun. How folks are trying to stay cool, and the changes coming later this week.
Also, Oregon launches a statewide paid leave program, a breakdown of who's eligible for up to 12 weeks off.
Good evening, everyone. Let's get right to breaking news. A fire burning in a 3-story apartment building in Portland. This is near Northeast 8th and Beach, just north of Irving Park. Live pictures here. You don't see any flames, really any smoke, but definitely some damage on the exterior of the building here. Fire crews called in extra support because of the size of the original fire and concerns it could spread to surrounding buildings.
Firefighters say there are multiple spot fires around this original fire due to embers sent into the air. They also add they have searched the building twice now. Again, a 3-story apartment building. They have found no victims. We will keep you updated as we learn more about the fire and the efforts to put it out.
One more challenge facing those crews, the extreme heat hitting the Willamette Valley and beyond. Temperatures peaking at 108 in Portland today, one of the hottest days ever recorded in the Rose City. And we are not done yet. Tomorrow, we could also be breaking records. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. By the time relief arrives later this week, we'll have likely gone through consecutive triple-digit days. We have full team coverage for you tonight, including precautions to take in the heat and the temporary change from Portland when it comes to the homeless crisis.
Well, let's begin with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. And Matt, it is just brutal out there.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. We've already had 2 consecutive 100-degree days going back to yesterday. Today, though, a rare day. A really rare day. The only time we were this warm was the beginning of the heat dome 2 years ago in June of 2021. We're down to 103 right now. We've already cooled significantly. That's 5 degrees of cooling because we topped out today, that's right, at 108 degrees, making it obviously a record for the date. But it's a rare day in Portland to get this warm. It's the hottest day we've had since the heat dome. The last day of the heat dome when we hit 116. So thankfully we're not that hot, but it is our warmest August day ever. We've never hit 108 in August before. The previous hottest August day was back in 1981, twice, the 8th and the 10th, when we hit 107. And up until the heat dome, that was Portland's all-time record hottest day. So if you think about it, this is the 4th time in, 2 years that we have exceeded our previous all-time record high, which is pretty remarkable. It's not just the afternoon high, though. It's also the overnight lows because they're not very low at all. We're going to bottom out in the 70s. Our warmest night ever in August was last year. On the 18th, we bottomed out at 73, and that's exactly what I'm forecasting overnight tonight. And that's only 2 degrees cooler than Portland's all-time hottest night ever, which again, back to the heat dome in 2021, when we bottomed out at 75. So here are the numbers around town. Look at that 110 over in Troutdale, 106 McMinnville, 107 in Hillsborough, 104 in Hood River. Medford also making it up to 110. Now there is smoke to the south, some of that drifting our way. We've had varying amounts of haze as the wildfire smoke reaching the upper elevations is reaching north to about Portland. But the bigger concern, other than the air quality, which is not great in parts of the Portland area, moderate in some places and unhealthy for sensitive groups in the other, that's going to continue as we continue to have this hot weather. But tomorrow will be hot again, but it should be down around 100, not 105 or 108 like today, then dropping into the 90s on Wednesday and Thursday. So, and after that, much cooler for Friday and the weekend. So hopefully our string of 100-degree days will end at 3. Guys?
Yeah, so much to keep an eye on, and the records falling left and right. Thank you, Matt.
Let's go to Mike Benner now at Salmon Street Springs in downtown Portland, a real popular place today as people try to cool off and take care in the heat. Mike, it looks pretty tempting.
Yeah, I tell you what, Laurel, the action out here has really picked up in the last hour or so, and I think that's because this area is finally shaded. Take a look, a number of people cooling off in the water, splashing around, having a good time, but it is not all fun and games when it gets as hot as it is today. The inside of food carts can be dangerously hot. We stopped by Food Cart Heaven in East Portland. The guy operating the Portland Custom Food and Catering truck says it can get up as high as 140 degrees in his truck. He says he has a lot of ice and a fan to keep cool. Another difficult job in the heat, garbage and recycling pickup. Local companies starting collection earlier than normal so their employees are home before the heat becomes unbearable. This requires people, of course, to put their bins out the night before. And then there are the high school football teams starting practice. A lot of them are working out early in the morning or at night, and that includes the Canby varsity and junior varsity squads. Early morning workout for them, lots of water to stay hydrated. Listen.
You know, we try to make sure that every kid, you know, is getting adequate water. They're getting the opportunities to rest when need be. But we, you know, every coach, I think, here at the school, and I think every coach around the state, you know, we're pretty clued in right now to checking that heat index, making sure that we're not crossing that line.
And you definitely don't want to cross that line. It's not worth it. The heat can prove to be dangerous. In fact, it was for a couple of Forest Grove firefighters who, while fighting a fire today, had to be treated for heat-related injuries. Good news, though, the firefighters will be okay. Everyone here at Salmon Street Springs okay as well, as they're splashing around and cooling off. Let's send it back to you.
Well, we certainly thank all the firefighters that are on duty today. And Mike, now you can go jump in the springs. It's okay. No one will be watching, all right? Thank you, Mike. This extreme heat just adds to the dangers people who are homeless face living outside.
Sure does. That's led day centers like Portland's Blanchet House to call on the city to pause clearing campsites this evening. It looks like the city has actually agreed to that. Blair Best with more.
The weather sticks to David Bentley like glue.
Trying to get some of this dust and crap that stuck to me because I was sweating.
And water on the streets is scarce.
And not trying to always put off that image, you know what I mean, that we live in dirt, you know what I mean?
For David, the extreme heat is just one obstacle. He's in a race against the clock since his campsite under the I-84 ramp was posted for removal on Friday, leaving him with 3 days to move.
Making people get up, move their stuff, no matter what the weather is, you know what I mean, they're exhausting themselves just so you can come along and push them around and take their stuff some more.
Hey, man, care for a bottle?
In Old Town, staff from Blanchet House do what they can to make life on the streets a little easier.
Just pulled out of the freezer.
Of course. We shouldn't take any action that isn't helping people survive during this extreme period of heat.
Scott Kerman runs Blanchet House and is calling on the city to stop clearing homeless camps like David's during this week's heat wave.
As I know there's a lot of energy right now in our community, whether it's sweeps or the camping ban, for there to be something done about unsanctioned camping. If you feel that way, this is not the time for it. This is a time where sweeping people, moving them out of their space could actually be deadly.
The mayor's office tells KGW camp removals are currently on pause due to the excessive heat warning, which also prompted Mayor Ted Wheeler to declare a state of emergency. That ends on Friday.
I don't want to die out here. I don't want to die just another homeless guy, just another number.
Now, we're told that those groups that typically remove homeless camps are now handing out things like water and cooling supplies, as well as encouraging people to go inside. Multnomah County has opened 3 daytime cooling centers this week, and Portland also has overnight shelters as well. David, Laurel.
And a good reminder to check on our neighbors. Thank you, Blair. Stay with us for continuing coverage of the heat wave on air and online. You can find the latest forecasts and alerts on KGW.com, on KGW Plus, and on our app and social media pages.
Well, meanwhile, the extreme heat is causing trouble for firefighters with a number of wildfires in the region right now. We're going to run you through them. That includes the Blue Jay fire that's burning in Clackamas County. on the west side of the Sandy River near Boring. There are some level 1 Be Ready evacuation orders now in place along a stretch of Lusted Road. You can find the evacuation map on the Clackamas County website.
The Lookout fire is growing rapidly in Lane County in the Willamette National Forest. It's burning just north of the McKenzie River Highway. There are level 3 go now evacuation orders in place. The fire's now burned 1,200 acres, and firefighters say it's threatening to get worse in the next few days. Governor Kotek has invoked an Emergency Conflagration Act to make more firefighting resources available.
Also in Lane County, there are go now evacuation orders surrounding the Bedrock fire that's southeast of Eugene. It's burning near the Bedrock campground in the Fall Creek area and has now torched more than 19,000 acres. Fire danger in the Willamette National Forest still very high, and burning restrictions remain in effect.